Now upstairs, we talked about hardwoods a little bit downstairs. So here's some hardwood floors. It looks like someone's tried to refinish, but it doesn't look like they've sanded it quite enough and then put the proper coating on, or it would be a consistent glaze over the whole thing. Here's the fireplace that I was mentioning. That's what the downstairs fireplace is going to look like. So one thing that you don't see is the gold. There's usually a gold lever here that you would pull out or you would turn, and that's going to open or close your damper. So I don't see that here, so they may have blocked it off. I don't know. You'd have to go underneath and look, and you'd have to look up or take a picture with your camera up and take a look at it. Because it'll only be like here. It's not going to be really high. It's going to be here. But again, airflow, you're going to lose air coming out of here for sure. Again, another new window, which is good. You've got the 3-prong electrical in here, which is good, meaning your electrical should be fine. I didn't look downstairs to look for aluminum wiring, which we should for the 70s. But we'll maybe take a look. Do you want to take a quick look? Do you know where the electrical panel is? Did you see where the electrical panel was?
I didn't notice it.
It should be in the furnace room, above the washer dryer, or the room right beside it. So now that we're in the kitchen, obviously this is an older kitchen that's been repainted. The value of a kitchen being repainted is not as good as replacement cabinets. Painting is easy to do, but it's very difficult to make look good. And most people will tell if you just change hardware out or if you just paint them, it costs way less to do, but it just doesn't give it that same look. So for rental properties and stuff, it works. It does give it the colors, but it's resale value is just not as good.
It's aluminum wiring.
There is aluminum wiring in it, and how could you tell?
Because it says right on the thing, aluminum.
It says right on, and it'll be in the name. If you look at wiring, in the sheeting of the wiring, it'll have ALUM somewhere in the word. Aluma shield, Aluma something or other, you'll see that lots. Or if you actually can see the bare wire, it's silver versus copper, right? And the problem with aluminum is you can't have aluminum and copper touch. You can, so what they do is they have a piece of metal that aluminum goes in, copper goes in, and they're clamped, but they don't actually touch each other. And this piece of material is made of a product that doesn't react to either of those products. And that's the good, and so there's nothing wrong with aluminum wiring. It's just you can't combine the two of them and make them touch. So if you get into a house with aluminum wiring, some people will freak out. It's like, relax. Are you going to renovate the house? No. Aluminum wiring, some of it used to arc because they would do renovations and they wouldn't tighten the screws back up properly to where they needed to be, and they were getting loose, or because it can break easy if you're maneuvering it. So if you're pulling aluminum wire and you're trying to rebend it from where it was, it will actually re-break again, and then that's where you'll get your arcing. So that's the problem with aluminum wire. If it's where it was right from the beginning, there shouldn't be an issue with it. So you don't have to rewire the house, but lots of people will want to rewire the house for future, and it can cost you thousands of dollars to do that. So in here, the things I always talk about is, your kitchen sinks, seeing what you've got for plumbing and shut-off valves. Obviously your plastic all the way through here. You've got copper for your shut-off valves, and you do have shut-off valves underneath. If someone wants to do a double sink or whatever, then you have to put a different cabinet in here then, because double sinks most likely won't fit in the same cabinet as a single sink. And all of these cabinets are going to be, if you take these out, you're taking them out basically as a whole. All the new ones, the new cabinets, are all in sections, and you just have to undo screws and you can take one out and put another one in. So you can exchange an upper and take it out and put a microwave one in, or do something to that effect. These old ones, they're all pretty much built together, and if you take one out, you're taking them all out. So, and then your dishwasher, I always talk about the dishwasher, as it's the only appliance in the house that only has hot. Hot water is the only water that goes to a dishwasher. So why is that important? It dictates how hot your water heater needs to be. Every other device in your house has a hot and cold mixer. Your water heater does, your dishwasher does not. So if your Tupperware is melting, your water's too hot. If your dishes aren't coming clean enough, your water's not hot enough. So make it hot enough until the dishwasher functions properly. Everything else can be mixed with hot and cold and work accordingly. So, okay. Carburetors, if they have carburetors, obviously talk a little bit about what you can and can't put down carburetors. No bones, no stringy things like banana peels, etc. because they get tied up. Pretty much everything else can go down a carburetor with lots of water. And when I say lots of water, think of it this way. Whatever I put down there, I start the sink and I have it keep running and I think in my mind, where does this have to go? It goes down, okay, now it goes into my basement, it goes down, then it's now starting to go out to the city. I have to leave it on until it's going into that big pipe going out to the city, because if it's anywhere in this house still, and it stops, and the next part comes up, and the next one comes up, and next thing you got a blockage. So carburetors, if you don't know how to run them, can cause you some grief in your kitchen. Okay, let's go up to the